Christians who could lend for usury. Any interest rate is called usury. Usury is illegal. So in Christian nations, lending money for an interest rate was illegal. So because it was illegal for the Christians, who did the lending? The Jews. So there was Christians who could lend for 0% or didn't lend at all. And then these people called the Jews would come over and start lending money. They would start charging money. And in a couple generations, guess what would happen to the economy? The Jews owned everything. And then guess what the king did? Rounded them up and threw them out of the country. Then they go to the next country, and what would they do? Same thing. And what would that king do? Round them up, kick them out of the country. This went on for thousands of years. This is why the Jews in history have had no country. Because the king would have, they would say no usury, no money lending, and they would start the money lending, they would start the central bank to compete with the king. The king would kick them out. They go to the next country, do it again. So this has happened over and over and over again because this quote right here from Napoleon, he would show the compound interest tables, and he said in a very short amount of time, compound interest would eat up every piece of property in France. In fact, I'm going to show you how powerful compound interest is. Very scary thing. And there's a reason why it was illegal. Illegal in the Christian nations and the Christian philosophy, because it would literally enslave people. Guys, the interest on credit cards enslave people today. Does student loans enslave people today? We no longer have forced slavery. We have debt slavery now. It is no longer forced slavery. There's not a massa with a whip whipping you anymore to pick cotton or something like that, or build wallets or whatever you're doing, build boats, all sorts of slavery. We now have debt slavery, where somebody prints money and you now have to pay the money back plus interest. Okay, so Pareto's principle. In Italy, an economist named Pareto noticed that 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the families. The start of modern banking was in Italy. You had the Jewish population there, and they would exchange gold for notes. And in Italy, you had the Pareto principle, where 80% of the land was owned by 20% of the people. Who's heard of the 80-20 rule before? That's from Italy. And I want you to write this formula down. Time times compound interest equals power. And today, when you guys are investing in your game, we're going to be doing 30 years of investing over 3 days. So you got lots of time, and you have compounding numbers. So when you compound numbers over time, that becomes extremely powerful.